Hello, everyone, and this is a little bit of a late installment of my Sunday, so to speak, reflection. But I'm going to reflect very quickly on a weekend event where I had an opportunity to mediate a panel, be a moderator on a panel on violence in the workplace. And I did a really long video about this, but I'm not going to post it because there's a lot of information and it's a conversation that is for another time. But I wanted to reflect on what an amazing conversation it was with law enforcement. And I do think Division 22 Sergeant who came and gave us a lot of really good, solid information and was very knowledgeable and very helpful. And same with someone from the RNAO, as well as Larry Camejo, who is a martial artist as well as a specialist in violence prevention and teaching. The issue is this is something that is happening in healthcare, and it has escalated. I have been punched, kicked, all kinds of things thrown at me in 27 years of nursing, and now nursing students are walking into clinical settings and they are getting hurt. And one of my quite a few years ago, one of my students got punched. Not okay. So it is a big concern. But one of the things I wanted to reflect upon as well, besides the violence, and that is an ongoing issue, and I think that conversation needs to keep happening, is a friend of mine sent me a video and thanked me for being a friend. And it was a lovely gesture. And I watched the video, and it talked about this amazing study that has been done. It started out sometime in the 1930s at Harvard. And they were actually looking at men. Well, of course, back then, everybody was looking at men, and even in cardiac care, for the longest time, we just looked at how men responded to things, not what women were doing. But the study is really, really fascinating around who lives a long, healthy life. And they compared Harvard graduates to a different group that was not a Harvard graduate. They worked in many different places. There were people who worked in a factory, lawyers, doctors, bus drivers, a whole bunch of different people. Well, what was interesting is social support was one of and having good relationships was one of the things that kept people living longer, happier, more fulfilling lives. And many, many years ago, I remember I wrote a paper on social support in maternal child nursing and how women handle when a child is born and they go home, the outcomes that they have. So who does better, who manages better. Social support was one of the things that came out. Now, what does social support mean? It's a big, big words, right? They're just words. It just means that we have relationships. We create relationships and we have good relationships. But relationship means, let's say, who has your back, who you can talk to when you're down, who you can talk to when you're happy, who genuinely will be joyful and happy for you, and who kind of goes, yeah, nice, 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 but you can tell they're jealous and, they're not really happy for you. The point is, who are the people in your life that are in your corner socially, whether it's family or friends? I know that certain family and certain friends are in my corner, and I'm happy and I am very blessed that when I don't know something, I have someone that I can call and say, hey, I don't know about this. There were times where I was afraid to talk to people about certain things just because I felt like I had to be perfect. But we don't have to be perfect. We just have to know, who do I go to get help? And one of the things that came out is that loneliness and aloneness is not good necessarily. But there's a difference, I think, between I choose to be alone at times because it recharges me. I spend personally a lot of time with people around me all the time. If I teach a class, it's up to 48 students, and I manage 96 of them or 97 of them on a weekly, daily basis. That's a lot of people. So what ends up happening is I need my alone time to just decompress and just be in a quiet space. And anyone that works with the public understands that aspect. Some people's jobs are more introverted, so they're not maybe spending a lot of time with people, but they're still doing certain things and they also would like to be alone. But there's a difference between someone purposefully blocking people out and not wanting. And there's apparently a certain toxic effect about that, according to the study, which is one of the longest ones they've ever done. But I want to take it one step further. What relationship we have with ourselves, we actually treat others how we are inside. So there are some people that sometimes act out or do things and you just go, what the heck was that? You may not even have ever met them or known them, and they're acting in a way that is inappropriate and out of context of what is happening. So this is where we have to look at, well, how are they? Because this may be a reflection of them. And what relationship do they have with themselves? Now, let's reflect on ourselves. What relationship do I have with myself? Am I happy? Am I pleased? Do I know when to say to myself, okay, come on, Proshka, like, what was that? Or do I know when to say, good job? Took me a long time to learn that. Also to know I am responsible for myself. I can't be responsible for everyone. There's certain responsibilities I may have in my job, who I take care of, what I do. But look at yourself. What is your relationship with yourself? And how is that reflected in the relationship that you have with others? Now, funny thing, I thought about this. I am very lenient, or can be, although maybe some people might disagree. I can be very lenient with others, and I can be very tough on myself. Sometimes when people are tough on me, I actually have said this to somebody. I said, I'm actually 10 times tougher on myself. You just don't know it. When I'm alone in my own thoughts, I reflect upon how I can do something better and differently. I'm actually very, very hard on myself. And those who know me know this to be true. And I can be softer on others when I see others being hard on themselves or they are struggling. And I support them and lift them up because they need that lift. Because I know what it feels like for me when someone says to me, Proshka, you know what? Maybe you're being a little bit hard on yourself, or you're being a bit of a perfectionist. Like, stop it. So I see it in others as well. So when do we know when to lift others up and help them reconnect with themselves and be a little bit softer and maybe love themselves? Now, to me, me being hard on myself, to me, that's actually loving myself, because then I'm kind of saying, hey, buck up, learn from this thing, and then get on with it. But that's my relationship with myself. At the same time, I allow myself times to rejuvenate, renew, or allow myself to be upset, have feelings of sadness or upsetness of whatever that may be. But I have a rule. If something happens and I'm really sad, or I'm really pissed off, or I am frustrated, I give myself one day. And that one day, I can feel sorry for myself. I can be the victim. I can be whatever I want to be. I just wallow in it, let it out, let all the emotions out. And then after that, it's like let's get back to the game. That is how I do it with myself, so that I fully embrace I'm a human being. I have these feelings and let them out, but I'm not letting it out at anyone. I am just allowing myself to feel and explore that feeling. What is it? Where is it going? Is this useful in any way, or is it just a reaction? Am I being, appropriate or not? But I'm doing it with myself. I'm not doing it with anybody else. And I may take notes, I may meditate, and then I learn from it and allow it to sort of dissipate. And then we go on with it. Everyone has a different way of handling. But what's really important is that we have to support ourselves within ourselves, and also how we support ourselves, then that now translates into how we support others around us. So, how do you support yourself? And how do you support others? How do you lift up? And how do you cheerlead, coach, mentor those around you so that you nurture those relationships that really matter? Because those are the ones that also will nurture you and keep you sane, whole, maybe laughing at times. But think about it. And always remember, one of the most powerful emotions in the world is just sending love into a situation, or love to a person, or love to yourself. So, on that note, have an amazing week. And I may post a few more videos this week around boundaries and some other stuff. But for now, just send love to those who matter to you the most. Thank you for listening, and I will see you soon.